Hello, and welcome to Most Significant Bit, a podcast that explores the connections between engineering, technology, humanities, and the arts. I'm Joshua Barber, and today we're discussing the evolution of homes. In this episode, we will discuss a few periods of time as they relate to homes, what technology was available at the time, and how that affected home design. For humans in the early periods of prehistory, a cave was as close to a home as they could get, even if they weren't often used. After all, this was still during the period of time when our ancestors were hunter-gatherers and didn't stay in one place very long. They had temporary dwellings like tents, sure, but that's not really a home, right? A cave, on the other hand, is stationary, enclosed by thick walls, and temperature-controlled, much more comparable to the homes we have today. But why not build complex dwellings and settle down? Well, first of all, we had not yet learned to farm, so the only foods humans could get were what we found. But the other factor were the tools we had back then. Early prehistoric human tools really come in two main flavors: basic pounding tools such as rocks, bones, stuff like that, and choppers, which are usually broken pieces of rock with sharp edges. Functional, but not complex enough for building large, sturdy shelters. Border Cave in South Africa is a good example of a cave dwelling. Evidence of dwelling exists there that dates back to around 200,000 years ago. Here we find early human skeletons beside cultural artifacts and even evidence of grass beddings. This dwelling has been connected to the San peoples, which are a group of hunter-gatherer cultures that are the first cultures of Africa. As technology advanced, so did the structures that could be produced. The Neolithic period, the last period of prehistory that spans from 10,000 to 4,500 BC, is a good place to look at to prove this point. Specifically, let's look at Neolithic longhouses. These houses were made by the first farmers in Europe as early as 6000 BC. At this point, no longer did people simply use rocks as is. They were shaped and placed into shafts and handles. This created a variety of instruments, such as axes, hammers, chisels, and gouges. With farming allowing people to stay in one place, these tools could be used to form long-term and intricate dwellings. Neolithic longhouses were manufactured out of wood strips, split logs, wet clay or soil, and straw for the roofs. 4 walls, a pitched roof, which is pointed but flat on the sides, and 1 door. These windowless houses are simple by today's standards, but were a revolutionary leap forward in manufacturing from wrapping a mammoth pelt around some sticks. Sturdy and resistant to temperature changes, these dwellings mark the beginning of modern architecture. Speaking of modern architecture, let's talk about our final subject: modular homes. You see, as tools became more and more complex, so did our ability to manipulate materials. Nowadays, we can make construction materials using metals like steel and mixtures such as concrete, alongside wood and other natural materials. Modular homes are even more special, though, because unlike all other homes throughout human history, they don't even have to be manufactured at their final destination. These homes start as sections of a house called modules that are constructed on an assembly line using the convenience of modern tools and machinery. Semi-trucks then take these modules to where the home will be, and the last bit of construction is undergone to make it truly a home. If you've ever seen a house being transported by truck, now you know why. Before I conclude this episode, I would like to discuss one last thing. What is the main thing that connects modern homes to caves? After everything else I've said, you might think it's having walls, a roof, and a place that is a comfortable temperature no matter what it feels like outside. But if I had to answer that question, I would say the answer was art. Look around your home. More than likely you have something decorative somewhere, maybe a picture of your dog, a vase with flowers, or even just a fridge magnet. This behavior isn't exclusive to the modern day. Early humans drew cave art to decorate their dwelling, and even made objects we consider artifacts today. No matter how far removed we are chronologically from these early peoples, we are all still just human. Today we covered the evolution of houses from caves to Neolithic longhouses and finally to modular homes. Thank you for listening.